Hey viewers, welcome back to Wes's Corner. Hope everybody's having a good evening. This evening I'd like to discuss the idea of autism comorbidities with mental health disorders such as bipolar disorder, depression, and anxiety. Autistic people have a high prevalence of these. Um, some studies show that there may be common vulnerabilities and genes that cause autism, what have you. I'm not really quite sure specifically, but I don't want to so much look at the statistics of it, rather the struggles of it. See, the thing is, having something like bipolar disorder or depression or anxiety by itself is bad enough, but when you add in the whole autism struggle, it kind of just adds on to it. See, because when you take uh, a bipolar person with periods of mania or hypomania and depression, and then add that into the autism social anxiety or the meltdown, it's kind of a cocktail of emotion and frustration and anger. And if that happens somewhere public, it can really get some eyes on you, which is not something you want. It's hard to get out of the situation. It's a little bit more difficult to have medications to adjust that, to my understanding. It's just kind of a trial, trying to get everything figured out in that regard. Being autistic and depressed. Being depressed itself sucks. Um, Having that added onto it as well sucks too. I mean, there's really no other way to put it. So, fortunately, I mean, there are treatments, there are resources. Um, it just seems to happen that autistic people have a higher rate of these kinds of diagnoses than neurotypical people for whatever reason, whether it be genetic or chemical related or what have you. And that also add in anxiety with that, because every autistic person I've met, myself included, um, has been a very anxious person. Social anxiety, especially. Sensory overload makes it even worse. It's kind of hard to cope with sometimes. So, what I think we need to do as a community is to kind of come together and create a greater support group for people suffering with bipolar, depression, anxiety, schizoaffective disorder, schizophrenia, who are also autistic. That whole comorbidity, double diagnosis plus more diagnoses, what have you. And it's not even just that. It's not even just the mental health. There's a higher rate of seizures in autistic people, higher prevalence of epilepsy, a higher rate of gastrointestinal disorders. I myself have Crohn's disease, which is one of the most well known. I've been suffering from it since I was 5 years old. At the that's when they diagnosed me, at least, probably earlier than that. Uh, Heart disease, kidney failure. We technically, us autistic people, tend to have a shorter lifespan, not because of the autism itself, but because of all the other things that seem to come along with it. I'm not really sure the specifics. There's a lot of studies on it. You could really find yourself reading for hours and hours. on the different things that go along with an autism diagnosis. Might find it very fascinating. I know I'm going to be doing some reading on it myself because I'm always trying to learn more about what I have and what others have. So I do recommend reading up on that as well. National Institutes of Health have a lot of good material there that you can read up on. But I do say we should have a greater support network for autistic people suffering from depression, suffering from anxiety, suffering from bipolar disorder, gastrointestinal illness, epilepsy, other physical maladies, and other mental health diagnoses. Because why shouldn't we have a support network? We should, just like everybody else. So, if you think we should too, go ahead and comment on this video. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Click the notification bell to be alerted of future videos. But that is all for this episode of Wes's Corner. Bye.